You are listening to KZSC's Voces Criticas Critical Voices. I am Silvana Falcón, the producer and host of Voces Criticas.
And I am Karen Calles, the show's production assistant.
As we near the 2-year anniversary of her assassination this week, today's show is dedicated to the late Berta Cáceres of Honduras. Today's show seeks to put a spotlight on her legacy and to honor her life's work and words of wisdom. Her killing was a devastating blow to the Lenca people of Honduras and to activists everywhere, especially environmental activists who were fighting against transnational corporations with the full support of states, seeking to profit from the destruction of land and water bodies. Berta and the Lenca people are the guardians of water bodies, of rivers. They are the water defenders.
Berta Cáceres was a Honduran indigenous activist assassinated in her home at about 11:30 p.m. on March 2, 2016. She led the struggle of the Lenca people against displacement and the destruction of their environment by mega projects in southwestern Honduras. Activists have been experiencing an increase in threats against their lives throughout Latin America, and especially in Honduras. Global Witness reports that over 100 land and environmental activists have been killed in Honduras alone between 2010 and 2015. Between 2002 and 2009, there were only 10 reported killings recorded.
Here's Berta in her own words from a video clip produced by an organization called Skylight. As stated on their website, Skylight is a human rights media organization focused on amplifying the voice of constituencies battling for social justice and their rights since Skylight's founding in 1981. The content we produce, from documentary films to a range of digital media projects, creates a media ecosystem that strengthens a culture of rights and engaged citizenship, end quote. This video clip is called Berta Cáceres, in her own words. Our English translation will follow.
Mi nombre es Berta Cáceres Flores y soy de una organización que se llama Consejo Cívico de Organizaciones Populares e Indígenas de Honduras, COPIN, y somos del pueblo Lenca. Estamos en un proceso de lucha, de activismo por la defensa de los derechos de los pueblos indígenas y hemos venido en un proceso de resistencia, bueno, como siempre lo han hecho los pueblos indígenas por más de 500 años y seguimos enfrentando el colonialismo actual. No es un crimen defender nuestros propios derechos como pueblos indígenas. El pueblo Lenca es un pueblo antiguo que habitó esta región mesoamericana, el suroccidente, centro de Honduras, una gran parte de El Salvador también. Y este es un pueblo dedicado bastante a la tierra, su cosmovisión se centra en la tierra, en el maíz, en el equilibrio que debemos de guardar con todos los seres. Las transnacionales quieren invadir nuestros territorios. Ellos quieren privatizar nuestros ríos, el agua, los bosques a través de los proyectos de represas hidroeléctricas para la privatización de la energía. Nosotras pensamos que esta lucha que nosotros vemos en la comunidad no es aislada, es una lucha y es un problema mundial. Es un problema en este continente, que no solo lo enfrentamos nosotros, sino que todos los pueblos que luchan contra el colonialismo y que tienen sentido de justicia y por la emancipación. Todo el mundo piensa que en Honduras hay una situación normal y eso no es verdad. Aquí hay violación de derechos humanos, hay asesinato, hay represión, hay secuestro. Casi 3 millones de hondureños y hondureñas estamos desempleados en un país de un poco más de 7 millones. Es increíble y nosotras sabemos que al venir aquí es importante ser escuchadas. ¡Exigimos las mujeres justicia! Tuvimos un debate alrededor de eso, mujeres de diferentes partes del país y bueno, un compartir desde la alegría también, porque si hay algo que nosotros sabemos después del golpe de Estado, es que si nosotros no tenemos alegría en esto, entusiasmo y esperanza, estamos, como decimos nosotros, muertas en vida.
That was a video clip produced by a human rights media organization called Skylight, and here is what she said. My name is Berta Cáceres Flores, and I am from an organization that is called the Council of Honduran Popular and Indigenous Organizations, COPIN, and we are of the Lenca people. We are in the process of a struggle and activism in the defense of our indigenous communities. We are in a process of resistance, like always, for indigenous communities for the past 500 years. We continue confronting actual colonialism. It is not a crime to defend our rights as indigenous pueblos, as indigenous communities. The Lenca community are an ancient people that have inhabited the Mesoamerican region in southwestern and central Honduras and a great part of El Salvador also. And it is a community that is dedicated very much to the land. As a community, we are very much centered on the land, on the corn, and as guardians of equilibrium for all beings. The transnationals want to invade our territories. They want to privatize our rivers, our water, our forests for the purposes of hydropower and other energy projects. We think that this community struggle is not isolated. It is a struggle. It is a global problem, a problem of this continent that not only our community confronts, but all communities who are fighting against colonialism and who have a sense of justice and emancipation. Everyone thinks Honduras is a normal situation, and that's not true. Here are violations of human rights. There are assassinations. There are kidnappings. Almost 3 million Hondurans are unemployed in a country that has a population of just over 7 million. It is incredible. And our reason for coming here is to be heard. As said by a protester, what do women want? Justice. We had a debate with women from different parts of the country, and we had an exchange, a joyful coming together. If there's anything that we know after the coup, is that if we don't have joy and enthusiasm and hope, then we are, as we say, dead inside. Thank you to Skylight for producing this powerful video and for giving us permission to air it on the show today.
The Lenca people are one of the largest and most organized of the indigenous ethnic groups in Honduras. Berta Cáceres was one of the most outspoken critics of the 2009 coup against President Manuel Zelaya. Caceres co-founded COPIN on March 27, 1993 to stop logging projects, resulting in deforestation and to begin consolidating popular social movements.
Caceres received the Goldman Environmental Prize for her work in defending the Gualquerque River against the Aguasarca hydropower project in 2015, just 1 year prior to her killing. This is a prestigious environmental justice award given to activists throughout the world. The Gualquerque River is sacred to the Lenca community, which is why they are so fiercely and bravely determined to protect it. Here is a video clip of Berta Cáceres' acceptance speech during the 2015 Goldman Prize ceremony, which took place in San Francisco, California. The video clip is produced by the Goldman Environmental Prize.
Gracias. Buenas noches. Gracias a la familia Goldman. En nuestras cosmovisiones somos seres surgidos de la tierra, el agua y el maíz. De los ríos somos custodios ancestrales del pueblo lenca, resguardados además por los espíritus de las niñas, que nos enseñan que dar la vida de múltiples formas por la defensa de los ríos es dar la vida para el bien de la humanidad y de este planeta. El COPIN, caminando con pueblos por su emancipación, ratifica el compromiso de seguir defendiendo el agua, los ríos y nuestros bienes comunes y de la naturaleza, así como nuestros derechos como pueblos. Despertemos, despertemos humanidad, ya no hay tiempo. Nuestras conciencias serán sacudidas por el hecho de estar solo contemplando la autodestrucción basada en la depredación capitalista, racista y patriarcal. El río Gualcarque nos ha llamado, así como los demás que están seriamente amenazados en todo el mundo. Debemos sacudir. La madre tierra militarizada, cercada, envenenada, donde se violan sistemáticamente derechos elementales, nos exige actuar. Construyamos entonces sociedades capaces de coexistir de manera justa, digna y por la vida. Juntémonos y sigamos con esperanza defendiendo y cuidando la sangre de la tierra y de sus espíritus. Dedico este premio a todas las rebeldías, a mi madre, al pueblo lenca, a Río Blanco, al Copín, a las y los mártires por la defensa de los bienes de la naturaleza. Muchas gracias.
That was Berta Cáceres accepting her award at the 2015 Goldman Prize ceremony in San Francisco in a video clip produced by the Goldman Environmental Prize. Here is the translation. She said, "In our worldviews, we are beings who come from the earth, from the water, and from corn. The Lenkam people are ancestral guardians of the rivers, in turn protected by the spirits of young girls who teach us that giving our lives in various ways for the protection of the rivers is giving our lives for the well-being of humanity and of this planet. Copin, walking alongside people struggling for their emancipation, validates this commitment to continue protecting our waters, the rivers, our shared resources and nature in general, as well as our rights as people. Let us wake up. Let us wake up, humankind. We're out of time. We must shake our conscience free of the rapacious capitalism, racism, and patriarchy that will only assure our own self-destruction. The Gualcarque River has called us, as have other gravely threatened rivers. We must answer their call. Our Mother Earth, militarized, fenced in, poisoned, a place where basic rights are systematically violated, demands that we take action. Let us build societies that are able to coexist in a dignified way, in a way that protects life. Let us come together and remain hopeful as we defend and care for the blood of this earth and of its spirits. I dedicate this award to all the rebels out there, to my mother, to the Lenca people, to the Rio Blanco, to Copin, and to the martyrs who gave their lives in the struggle to defend our natural resources. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Goldman Environmental Prize for producing this powerful video so that Berta's words live on.
On October 28, 2017, the New York Times published an article about the assassination of Berta Cáceres titled, "Who Ordered the Killing of Honduran Activist? Evidence of Broad Plot is Found." The New York Times article revealed the plot to kill Caceres was many months in the making and involved numerous entities that include transnational corporations and the state. Gustavo Castro Soto, a Mexican environmental activist, was with Caceres for several days prior to her killing, because she had been receiving more consistent and aggressive threats. He was shot twice and then detained at the time of her assassination. He was held for 1 month without cause and then released on April 1st, 2016, eventually returning to Mexico and telling Radio Progreso that, quote, "What we are confronting are forces, very powerful, obscure forces, filled with ambition, and these forces are what the movements are fighting," end quote. These obscure forces represent the rapacious capitalism that Caceres has warned us about.
Berta Cáceres was buried on March 4th, 2016, on what would have been her 45th birthday. According to an article by The Guardian dated February 28, 2017, quote, 8 men have been arrested in connection with the murder, including 1 serving and 2 retired military officers, end quote. As her assassination remains currently under investigation and numerous questions unanswered, a source informed The Guardian of the following. Quote, "The murder of Berta Cáceres has all the characteristics of a well-planned operation designed by military intelligence, where it is absolutely normal to contract civilians as assassins. It's inconceivable that someone with her high profile, whose campaign had made her a problem for the state, could be murdered without at least implicit authorization of military high command." End quote. The Honduran armed forces denies an involvement in her assassination, yet with all the questions that remain about her killing and those of other environmental activists in Honduras who are connected to Copín, the U.S. government continues to provide foreign aid to support the military and police in Honduras. In 2017, the U.S. approved about $17 million of aid. Furthermore, an investigation by The Guardian revealed in leaked court documents that the, quote, extrajudicial killing planned by military intelligence specialists is linked to the country's U.S.-trained special forces, end quote. We believe Berta's family, Copín, the Lenca people, and activists under threat everywhere deserves answers to who ordered her killing and why.
In our closing segment to the remarkable life of Berta Cáceres, we'd like to play this artistic tribute to her life. The impact of her loss is still deeply felt, and therefore we could not think of a better way to close this tribute to Berta Cáceres than how these poets did so at the 2016 Goldman Environmental Prize ceremony. Here are poets Leslie Valencia, Teresa Ciaga-Tonu, and Erika Viviana Céspedes.
Berta, as Indigenous women, we know that death is just the Earth's way of reminding us who we belong to, the land. Tonight, we summon you as courage, as mother, as teacher, as patience, as joy, as activist with a contagious smile who cut her teeth on revolution for the love of the people in the land of Honduras.
Last year, on this very stage, you said, "We come from the land, water, and corn. Somos seres surgidos de la tierra, el agua y el maíz." You were carrying the power of clenched fists and sacred rivers in your speech, the Rio Blanco and the Rio Gualquerque, sources of life and medicine for the Lenca people. It's why you were so fearless against the threats. The river had already warned you that your victory would be difficult, but you stood brave. And tonight, the river runs throughout this room, a living vein connecting all of us to this planet, a call to protect Mother Earth, just as lovingly and fiercely as you did, Berta.
Tonight, we celebrate your spirit, your passion, and what you gave your life to. The Council of Popular and Indigenous Organizations of Honduras, the rivers of the earth, and the goddesses that protect them. Your passion for human rights and the oxygen of resistance. Your voice echoes like the heartbeat of every indigenous fight for dignity.
Tonight, we celebrate you, Berta. You taught me that as an Indigenous woman, the true path towards justice is to accept the fact that the land never belonged to us, that we have always belonged to the land. You taught me how to press my ear to the soil, how to plant my feet in the river and listen as my ancestors whisper me responsible for protecting the sacredness of where all of us come from.
You taught me how to love this land both unconditionally and fearlessly, how to hold hands with the river and protect her vulnerability, how to bathe in the eternal gaze of her wisdom and listen to the songs of liberation flowing through her current. Thank you for showing me the ghosts connecting land to life and the holiness of their stories that lie beneath the water.
You've taught me the meaning of courage and solidarity. You've reminded us just how far chants of justice can travel. Since you've joined the spirit world, thousands have converged in Tegucigalpa demanding truth. 10 buses of Indigenous and Black Hondurans were stopped en route to the capital. Many walked by foot when forced to leave the buses. From San Francisco to D.C., a call to action was summoned in your honor. In New York City, hundreds of women gathered, chanting,
"Berta didn't die, she multiplied." Berta, it was you who said, "Let us come together and move forward with hope." to defend and care for the earth and its spirits. We will look for you in the villages of stars every night. We will listen for your voice like a whispering wind and hear your laughter in every crashing wave.
We will stand for justice
and feel our feet planted in every ounce of soil that we have always belonged to.
knowing that we are safe.
Knowing that when you return to us,
We will become millions.
Berta, we will always carry you with us. Your resistance, your vision will continue to be passed on in every sacred drop of water that surrounds us.
Thank you to the Goldman Environmental Prize for granting permission for us to play this powerful and moving artistic tribute so that Berta's legacy lives on through the words of these incredible poets.
To learn more about the work of COPIN, the organization that Berta Cáceres co-founded, please go to www.copin.org. That's www.copinh.org. Thank you for listening to Voces Criticas, Critical Voices. You can find us on the web at criticalvoices.sites.ucsc.edu and email us at kzsc.voices@gmail.com. Thank you also to Skylight and the Goldman Environmental Prize for producing the clips we used for today's show.